felt good because he didn't have to run in rubber and in big sweatsuits to try and get the weight off, but perhaps that extra weight is slowing him down a bit.
Because he's never fought an opponent over 152 pounds. That may be taking an effect on him.
Starling has not fought since September of last year. Nunn has not fought since August of last year. So both men coming off a little bit of a layoff. And for Michael Nunn, the longest layoff that he has ever had.
I don't know, Michael Nunn switching back and forth, right hand, left hand, he may have hurt his hand because he figures taking more pressure off one of the hands. But I got to watch it a little more.
That's possible, though. He rips the right hook to the body there. Nunn has gone away from the body attack, which is what really got him back into this fight. Halfway through this 8th round.
Body shots don't hurt your hands. Heads, elbows hurt your hands.
Starling going downstairs, and Nunn has slowed his pace. Nunn now letting Starling punch. Starling take the advantage. I think both men are tired right now.
Well, the pace is
big right hook lands to the head of Starling. Did it hurt him?
Seem to be standing on solid legs.
Nunn looking perhaps to get to Starling, thinking he might have been hurt, but Starling not showing any signs of it. Again, Nunn going downstairs. That's where I think Nunn needs to take that step to the right where he can throw the hook to the body or the straight left hand. He's not doing it.
He's definitely got to stop bending in to Starling. He's definitely going to butt himself again.
Half a minute left in round 8. Good shots by Michael Nunn. Nunn now ripping shots underneath to Starling.
He's definitely picking up the pace.
Starling feeling the effects of those shots, but a right hand by Starling. Nunn comes back with a combination.
Beautiful.
Things heating up here in the 8th round.
And we should reiterate, now these are two defensive specialists. This is a very exciting fight.
And they are both wailing away here in the 8th round. That's Michael Nunn in his corner. And so a bout in which we thought it might be more of a strategic match turns out to be something of a slugfest. And here at ringside, we have to say that I think like everybody else watching this bout, Buster, it's a little bit surprising that it has turned into such an offensive struggle.
It is. You know, I would like to reiterate, we have two defensive specialists, but these guys have both came to fight. I mean, they're out to giving it their all.
For sure. And Angelo Dundee, I think that for Nunn, he's probably shocked that Starling's still able to hit him with shots.
I think they both got something to prove, and they're proving it, and that's why it's been a great fight.
And it has been quite entertaining. We head into round 9. Michael Nunn. In the white trunks, the IBF middleweight champion, Marlon Starling in the blue, the WBC welterweight champ. I would think, gentlemen, as we see this is for the IBF title 12-rounder, this is still a pretty close fight.
Oh, yes, definitely. It's all according to the eyes of the guy that's looking at it.
Marlon Starling pushing with his hand as Nunn does. And if you're a devotee of statistics such as these, Michael Nunn has never scored a knockout after the 9th round.
Well, see, that just exploded into them doing the dirty tactics with it. You know, that's no good. This is too good a fight to be
Starling with a good right uppercut. Nunn claims it didn't hurt him, but Starling landing. Is Nunn trying to make him punch himself out? We'll see. Here comes Nunn. Nothing lands. Good body work by Starling.
Nunn is truly making a better showing of himself than he did in his last fight with Iran Barker.
Well, I don't know. I disagree with that. I'm not sure about that, Buster. He's fighting all right, but I thought he dominated the Barkley fight much more than this. Now he's punching well against Starling. Can he afford to lay on those ropes, Nunn, when he doesn't know what the outcome of this fight is?
Well, that's true. He shouldn't lay on the ropes for no reason. He should keep the fight in the middle of the ring. Everything coming off of his jab. A little bit of lateral movement.
Yes.
And he'll be more effective that way. You're right, Al.
You pointed that out earlier, and I thought it was a good point. Because when he moves, he really gives Starling trouble. Good right hand by Starling. This has been an excellent 9th round for Marlon Starling. Even if Nunn isn't hurt and he's playing, he's getting hit. We're halfway through the round. It's now incumbent upon Nunn to see if he can win this round.
He's got to stay in the middle. He's got to keep turning. You're right. He's along the ropes. He's got nothing going for him.
Nothing. It's not to his advantage.
Nunn with some body shots and then a left hand to the head that doesn't land. A fight that is very much in doubt here in the 9th round. More in doubt than many people thought. Michael Nunn went in almost a 6-1 favorite against Starling.
I think Michael Nunn has a tendency, when he gets ahead in a fight, he starts to relax. And that's a fault that may cost him one day.
And it has cost him a little bit in some fights like against Barkley, but in this bout, he gave Marlon Starling a good shot here in the 9th to get right back in it. But now, Nunn coming on toward the end of this round.
As we've seen earlier in the night, how Franklin came back against Gabriel, and the fight looked like it was going in one direction, and then in an instant, it changed.
Things change quickly in boxing. Final seconds of round 9. Michael Nunn has come back in the second part of this round. Isn't enough to win this round. We'll see. Combinations, but not much landing there by Nunn. Straight left. The round is history, and Marlon Starling may have notched one there.
These are two exceptional fighters, truly champions.
Check into Michael Nunn's corner.
Any part of the round, all right, because it's too close. Only because you fucked around, you let him in the fight a little bit. Now listen to me, Mike. He's got his hands up so high, you either got to come up the middle or you got to go around to the body. Sit back and take a deep breath.
More from several places. Good shot, okay? And come back with the left hook right hand, okay? Freeze and 4-punch combination, not one at a time, okay? All right? Let's go. Get that hook, right uppercut, okay? The hook, right uppercut's gonna work against this guy now, okay? Shot. You take it.
You know what I'm saying, Mike? He's got the hands up. You got to come up the middle on him when you're inside. You got to hit the liver. You got to hit the body. But you got to get in there with the jab, left hand.
Body, okay? Then you'll come in with the headshots, okay?
The corner work so important in this bout. You heard both men doing their work. Certainly in the Nunn corner, there's no question if there was coming into this fight that Joe Goossen, the dominant voice. And Freddie Roach, who of course has been working with Marlon Starling all the way through, you can feel from him, Ange. He knows an upset is very possible.
He knows his fighter real well. He's telling him what shots to throw, how to keep throwing 3 and 4 punch combinations, because the quickness of Starling's hands is a big key in this fight.
The last time out, Starling went 12 rounds. So did Nunn against Iran Barkley. Some of the fans booing a little bit.
I can't understand why.
That's hard to figure.
Fight.
Certainly Nunn has heard boos before. When he beat Iran Barkley, he boxed in the last 4 or 5 rounds after tattooing Barkley early, and the fans didn't like it in Reno. It's almost as if the fans sometimes, Angelo, are programmed to boo Nunn.
Well, what happened in the corner, he wanted water on his head. Maybe the heat is affecting him. Maybe the weight making is bothering him, because he wants that ice on top of his head.
Well, he's boxing. He's back to what he has so often done, not landing too much. There's the jab coming in. Good left hand underneath by Nunn. They need more of that in his corner. Starling has not had a chance to throw too many punches because Nunn has used his height and reach better in this round.
I think if Nunn double up on that right hand, they would see some effects. First shot to the body and turn it over with a hook to the head. And they start having an effect. Laying more effectively.
Left hand gets in by Nunn. Now the jab of Nunn is keeping Starling at bay, and Nunn is using his height and speed a little bit better. Good left hook by Starling. The hook gets in by Starling. Nunn drops his hand, lays on the rope, gets hit with the right hand.
Starling seems to have caught a second win.
Yes, indeed he has. In the 7th and 8th rounds, it looked for all the world like Nunn was controlling this bout. The 9th made a difference.
Nunn's having a problem breathing. When he was in the corner, he was blowing his nose. He's even blowing his nose as he's walking around the ring. A bad, bad thing to do, because his eyes might swell on him.
The conditioning of Michael Nunn, mostly a strong suit in his career, could be failing him right now. We're in the 10th. It is scheduled for 12.